both be in shot. Okay, Andrew Houston, thank you very much for joining me today on
Cool.
the Theatre Network.
No worries.
So, Miss Saigon, you excited?
It's going to be a great show. It's coming together really well.
Yeah.
We've had the orchestra rehearsing, we've had the cast rehearsing. Yeah, it's all going really well.
And who are your leads this time?
We've got Liam Kilgore, he's playing Chris. Sharon Wills is playing Kim.
Very young. What's the age for that role?
Well, in the show itself, Kim's character says that she's 17 and she's new here today, and actually, yeah, Sharon's turning 17, I think this weekend, opening weekend.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Sharon's very impressive.
Is she?
You know, people should come along and see her. She's, been so impressed with her right from, right through the whole production. And, when she came in, any doubts that we might have had as a prod team about her ability to be able to understand the role. No, she's knocked that out of the park. She's been very well prepared, and probably shown some of the people that have been doing theatre for a long time. Look, there's some great young talent coming through, and Sharon's one of them. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So it's a predominantly Asian kind of cast. It's supposed to be, isn't it? So how are you managing to do that?
The production team have, it's interesting. There's several debates about this, and I'm sure this is going to be one of those hotly contested and debated topics. I suppose the bottom line is, how do you do South Pacific if you haven't got Polynesians? How do you do, when you look at the Australian production of Miss Saigon, where they've imported talent for the pro series, the Japanese professional version, they had a Japanese Chris. They had Japanese American GIs.
You're right.
So what we decided as a prod team was that we wanted the best cast available, and that meant whether they were Asian or not. So we've got the best people in the best roles, and it's been fun for us with costume and how we do that. But look, it's very convincing, and it'd be like not doing the King and I because you haven't got Thai people or things like that. So it's one of those things. I think people might make some of the comments we've had, for example, is John an African American? Well, no, he's not. He's it's played by Peter Jenkins, who's very, very white and got red hair. So, but Peter does fantastic in the role.
You're under the stage for this particular production. What kind of problems does that lead to as an MD?
It doesn't do too much. I think with a lot of these big Broadway shows that they're asking for very big orchestras, and this one's no exception. It's got about 19 people in the orchestra, 18 or 19. The only thing that we've done is that we've put pit covers on top of the pit. It's still open so that I got eye contact with the cast.
Oh, you
and
do?
up on
you can
stage.
See them?
Yeah. So just in up the top there.
Okay.
So I've got my head sticking out. But generally, what we wanted to do was this pit is quite live and it bounces all of the sound out there. So sound design's been something that we've really put a lot of effort into.
I can see you've isolated the drummer.
That's we just quarantine the drummer. It's just because he's unfriendly. It's not because he's noisy.
The drummer?
We got Victor Brinkat's coming in and playing drums for that, and we've got Chris Wiseman coming in and doing all of the other percussion.
On behalf of the drummer, I'd like to suggest that they get some ventilation, because I've seen them come out of those things. The windows are drooping.
There's 2 vents on the box.
Two vents. They're like computer fans. They're tiny. Are you serious?
Yeah, that's all right. Well, we just told him to use half a lung. That's all right. So
drum better, or you turn them off.
or we fill it with gas. Yeah.
So, who's directing this?
It's directed by Sue Salvato. I hadn't worked with Sue, and I've been really impressed. And her husband Alberto's doing all of the sets, and set design's fantastic.
Yeah.
The director, we've had a ball as a production team. Sue and I've been on the same page. The whole production team has pretty much been on the same page since day one, and worked very hard, and got a very similar vision for it. And we're looking forward to it. We think we're there, so it's all good.